Hola! I recorded today to share with you that what are the topics that I can't forget last discussion. Number one, what is communication? Communication is essentially the exchange of informations between two people or more than. It's more than just a simple sending message, thoughts, and more. It's all about creating share to understand between the sender and the receiver. Number two, cultural relativism and ethnocentrism, and the possible cultural barriers. Cultural relativism, on the other hand, believes that culture is understood the best through its own people. Ethnocentrism compare other culture by using a group's specific culture as a bias comparison, believing there to be superior and the standard to use comparison to the other culture. Cultural barriers. The different language is the common barriers when some people from a different linguistic try to communicate. Other culture dialect, eye context is the considered the rule, while the other is the sign, honesty, and attentiveness. Third, different culture have a different value, belief, and attitude. Additionally, about a low context and a high context. A low context, there are two types, a low context and high context, two different style cultures use to convey information. They differ in how to emphasize is placed on the words themselves versus relying on nonverbal cues and shared understanding. Low context communication is direct and explicit explicit message are straightforward and to the point, leaving little room or misinterpretation. Focused on words, the meaning of derive primarily from the literary meaning of word use. Then the high context communication to understand indirect and implicit meaning is conveyed through subtly nonverbal cues and share to understanding between the communicator and the receiver. Focus on context, the cultural background, history, and the relationship are assumed knowledge that help interpret the message. Informal tone, examples of conversations between close friends, business meeting. Lastly, language varieties are different forms that language can take. They exist because language are constantly evolving and adapting to the need of their speaker. An example of regional dialect, there are varieties of language spoken in different geographic regions. And social dialect, there are varieties of language spoken by a different social groups. They may reflect a differences in social status. And register, there are varieties of language used in different contexts and situations. The same persons might use a formal register when giving a presentation and an informal register when talking to friends. And lastly is about the pidgins and creoles. They are a new language that emerged from the contact between two or more savage language. Pidgins are typically basic language used for a communication between of two who don't want to share their common language. For examples of our gay. And that's all. Thank you.